Welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Love is Blind, Season 3. Talking a little bit about Alexa and Brennan. They haven't been a hot topic lately, but, you know.
Were they ever?
I don't know. Not so much for us, I guess.
Nobody's been checking for Alexa and Brennan. No way.
But one thing we did see posted by Alexa here recently was just a cute little image that you guys see in the thumbnail. And she acknowledges that they never did sign that pesky prenup, but they did promise to love each other every day for the rest of their lives. So very cute, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cute. So I don't know about them. I mean, I'm glad that they seem to be doing okay. But my question to you, first of all, is will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Because we don't even know who Brennan really is. Hopefully she knows, because he never showed it to us, because everything that she said, he basically co-signed off on. And so I don't know. I don't know what his real personality is. I have no clue. I don't know what his strengths are. I don't know what his weaknesses are. I don't know what he actually likes. What is your real favorite color, bruh? Because I don't know. And so here we go with, this statement that she wrote and everything. So my question also to you, I don't know if you want to bite on the real Slim Shady part, but, but from a legal standpoint, did she make the correct decision? I mean, I guess not to pursue the contract. The
prenuptial agreement. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, let me just say, I'm surprised that she didn't, right? Because her family was kind of pushing not only for an actual legal prenuptial agreement, but the Jewish agreement. I don't know what they call it, but they referenced it as something like a prenuptial agreement. We talked a little bit about that in our previous video about them, in that it seems to me like the religious one is probably wholly unenforceable. I don't know, unless they have like attorneys who are drafting these to be prenuptial agreements. Just something that seems like it was morally binding more so than legally binding. In the way that it was described. So if you guys know more, if you're more well versed in Judaism than either of us are, you can explain if it's more of a legal contract than what we understand it to be. But to me, just from hearing the little bit that I heard about it, it sounded like something that was more moral.
Yeah, I would say that. I would also say is, from a religious background, Christianity, biblical background, I think some of us kind of confuse contracting with covenant. And so covenant is not a contract. Contract is not covenant, whereas contract, you're going to kind of protect your rights. And
see, that's weird, babe, because we speak of covenants in that way in the legal realm. We see that as a contract. So that's very interesting that you distinguish the two in that way.
Contract, when you draw that up, you want to protect your rights and you want to limit your responsibilities. But a covenant, especially a marital covenant, you want to assume responsibility, and you want to not, you don't want to limit your rights. You want to, you want to assume,
and that's what it was. Okay, well that makes more sense. That seems like that's what he was doing. But that it would not only be for the course of the marriage, but that it would extend then beyond the marriage if the marriage doesn't last. So again, I don't know. I would have to see it written, how it was drafted, to see if it was something that would be like unenforceable, unconscionable, or anything like that. Because it didn't strike me as something that would be a solid contract, but we'll see, I guess. I don't know if he signed that. Maybe he signed that one, but he didn't do the legal prenuptial agreement, or maybe that's the one that they were talking about. Not really 100% sure. When she spoke about a prenup, it was something that I thought she was speaking of separately from that religious contract.
Possible.
So is it a mistake that she didn't do it? I don't know. I mean, it's hard to answer that question because state law governs so much in terms of like what they will identify as, marital assets. And obviously you can't contract around something like child support. You could potentially contract in maintenance, or what was formerly known as alimony, and may still be known as alimony in certain states. I'm not sure, but not here in Illinois. You can contract it a little bit, but the court can override that. So if they look at it and be like, oh no, this is going to put this person at an undue hardship, they're going to strike it. And they're going to award maintenance or alimony, as it were, nonetheless. So they can be helpful in some regards, but I think in the way that a lot of people think about prenuptial agreements, I've spoken to so many people about prenuptial agreements, and it never seems to me in those conversations that it could accomplish what exactly they think that they can accomplish. You know, so it's interesting. And as many people as I have divorced over the course of the years, I have never had a prenuptial agreement come before me.
Okay.
What does that say? Maybe it just doesn't happen that much in Illinois. I don't know. I haven't run into the right people. But, you know, it's been a lot of people that people get divorced all the time. And I've just never run into one. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't think she really necessarily made a mistake. Things that are marital assets are pretty clear. If you take an inheritance, for instance, an inheritance is something that generally would not be a marital asset. So if you hold it separate, you don't need a prenuptial agreement for that inheritance to still be separate in a divorce. The court will readily identify that as an inheritance, as your inheritance, and yours alone, and they won't split it. It won't become a subject to a 50-50 division. However, if you inherited, you know, $500,000 from dad, and you put it right on into your bank account with your husband, and y'all start spending it and everything like that, then they call that commingling funds. So if you start commingling your finances that would have otherwise been held separately, and now it's hard for the courts to figure out, guess what? They ain't gonna figure it out. They're just gonna be like, what? That's y'all's money and y'all gonna split it. So, you know, she will have to be smart with those assets if they should come her way by way of inheritance or something like that, since she didn't do a prenup. She could also do a postnup, but again, in my years of practice, I haven't encountered a postnuptial agreement either. So
wow, okay, interesting. So from that standpoint, it sounds like it's okay. I mean, for them not to have gone, I guess, the whole court route.
I think if she starts to get inheritance, she should speak to someone if she's concerned. I think one of the things that we don't like to do as very hopeful, optimistic married people or engaged people is think about what happens if it doesn't last, and really plan for that. You can kind of talk it out, but a lot of people, they stop right there. They'll be like, well, yeah, I wouldn't take any of your money. I know you had that business before we were married, or I know you bought that house before we were married, but 15 years down the line, it's a different story.
Feelings
you know, hurt. Yes. And you feel like you've poured into that house just as much as the person who purchased it, then, you know, you start feeling like you have a claim to it. Or, like you said, feelings get hurt, or somebody gets mistreated, you know, or betrayed or something like that, and people start acting vengefully. But no matter what, if it's a marital asset, you know, she wasn't really going to be able to contract around that. So the best thing she can do at this point is just make sure whatever she's inheriting, because it seems like that's where all her money is coming from. Because did she work? I know she said she wanted to be like a stay-at-home mom.
I believe she said she did.
Okay.
Yeah. So
she doesn't want to continue to work. So that's, you know, her income or whatever she gets financially is probably going to come from her dad. What I would be concerned about, if I were her, is, you know, whether or not she would have to pay him maintenance if they get divorced.
What do you mean?
Like, if she's getting money, like, you know, they contracted for him, or they wanted him to contract from the Jewish agreement to pay her, to continue to take care of her.
Yeah.
But not only if he's of lesser means than her and can't afford to do that, not only will the court strike it down, but what if her income is greater than his, and then she has to take care of him? I think her family would lose it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See that as well.
Because it happens. I hear so many people complain, so many men are like, you know, these women are getting over when we get married and such and such. And I'm like, it's equal opportunity. It has nothing to do with gender.
Yeah.
I have the biggest reward in maintenance that I've ever seen was from a woman to a man. So it's not gender specific. And if he under-earns her by a significant enough amount, then she's going to pay.
Wow.
They get divorced.
Yeah, that's why I'm a Bible guy, and that's why I'm a little bit more, you know, apt to go into more of the covenant understanding than the contract understanding, because like I said, a covenant is going to limit, you know, you're going to say, I'm going to limit my rights and I'm going to accept responsibility. And so I think when you go into it with that type of mindset over the contract way, I just think, you know, you're more in alignment, not only biblically, but you're more in alignment for the success of that marriage. My personal opinion. Yeah. And so, but you didn't answer my other question.
What? Who's the real Slim Shady?
Who's the real Slim Shady? Who is it?
I don't know. If Brendan, I mean, if he likes it, I love it. I don't know what to say. He seems to be happy just to be married. I don't know what it is that made him feel like being like 100% sacrificial. Maybe that's just what he sees as being the right type of man or a good husband.
Okay.
It's just giving up control to Alexa. And it doesn't seem to bother her. So what can I say about it? I don't know. But I do agree with you that he doesn't seem to have much of a backbone for anything. When he agreed to convert religions with seemingly no real understanding of what that meant, it was an eyebrow raiser. Yeah. It was, for sure. But again, if he likes it, I love it. You know, let us know what you guys think about that. That was kind of bizarre. Anyway, yeah. And also about the prenuptial agreement, if you think that was a mistake, who you think is going to be more on the hook? Because it really seems like Alexa. You think her parents are mad about that? I mean, it's not going to come their way. You know what I mean? It's only going to be as far as the marital asset. So it shouldn't affect the parents any. But they're going to be pissed off if she has to pay him any type of maintenance.
Yes. Yeah. Especially her dad.
Oh, yeah.
I can see him being highly upset with that one.
Brenna's going to disappear if that happens. Anyway, guys, drop those comments below. Let us know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.